Okay, we're live again. I am tired today. I was supposed to do this earlier, but I keep getting phone calls and it's just been one of those busy mornings. All right, let's go live on Amazon here. So we did this a few months ago, or a different one of these. So I thought I would get this one in and try it out because this is a cell phone booster. Not to be confused with one of those micro cell things that you can get from your carrier. What this does is it actually pulls the signal over the air from the tower and then amplifies it. So if you have a good signal outside but not a good signal inside, this will make your life better. And we're going to test this because, first of all, because I review technology for a living. And by the way, I am buried in tech, so I'm going to be cleaning this place up tomorrow. I have like a massive project planned. I've got some data to clean up. I'm going to rearrange how we're sending videos out to different platforms, and then I'm going to clean up this mess. So I might have items available for sale. So be on the lookout for that if you're on the store email alert. And we've got some of our friends coming in here, so let me greet everybody and then we'll get to work. And my goal right now is to collect some B-roll footage, and then I hopefully will get what I need in the next hour or so. And I want to say hello to some friends that have joined us, so let's get the hellos going. And then I'm going to get to work on this real quick. And let's go to here. And let's pull this up here. There we go. Oh, I'm not getting my thing going through there. Let's see. There we go. Recipe Bob is here. Patrick Chang is here. It is a snow day. Although the one nice thing about the pandemic, there's nothing nice about it, but the one positive you could glean from all of this stuff that we've been dealing with is that people can look at things that they've been doing the same way for centuries and maybe approach them differently. So case in point, the snow day. So my kids have had the last 2 days off from school, but rather than have them be a day where they don't do anything, we have created in our district as an experiment what we call asynchronous learning days, where they have some work to do. The teacher has prepared some work, and the kids have to get it done by the end of the day. And I think that's really good, to be honest with you, because I don't mind like the traditional snow day, I get it. But the flip side of this is that the kids can not have to have their summer vacation pushed back by a week, because we get hit with snow all the time here in New England, right? So I think it's a good thing. Not everybody agrees with me. Xavier is here. Hola on the Amazon chat. Steve Owens, thanks for all your videos on Mocha saved today. Awesome. In an 1897 Queen Anne Victorian house. Yeah, it's hard to run wire in one of those houses, so good. I'm glad that worked for you. And Xavier says, hola, hola. There we go. We got some other folks joining us here. We have Mixmeister from Denmark. Romeric is here again. Hello. Fiergal from Ireland is here. I was in Ireland briefly on a layover when I was going to Germany in Dublin. It was kind of neat because there was a farm right on the airport property in Dublin. Pretty cool stuff. DG is here. Hello. I have a friend named DG, but I don't think you're the same one. But you're my friend now too. TJ, we have DG and TJ. Martin is here. And then Patrick said they had half days. See, everyone does it there. That's what's great about this. Everyone's figuring out different ways to do this. So they had a half day of synchronous learning and then asynchronous in the afternoon. And what's funny too, I'm on the school board, so we're always talking in these terms. So not everybody knows what asynchronous means, right? So it's always a tricky thing. David Yablonsky is here. Enjoyed the GameStop video. I'm glad you liked it. It's funny. It's YouTube really, like from the algorithm side of things, they really silo you into topics, So if I talk about the things that we usually cover on the channel, like Starlink and networking and video services, I do pretty well with that stuff. But when I go off in a different direction, I don't always get the algorithmic stuff there. So Xavier says, ¿Cómo está? De que trata este live. So I'm assuming he's asking if this is live. Sí. I don't know much Spanish beyond that. Let's see. ¿Cómo está? I would say to the como está, muy bien, gracias, y tú. That's about the extent of my Spanish. The weird thing about Spanish, though, is I can read it and understand what it says, even though I can't speak it or really comprehend it when someone's speaking it to me. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's just, I think you get enough of the language in high school, you can kind of get it, but I can't understand it when people are speaking. And it looks like YouTube is, or Amazon is hiding his messages back to me, unfortunately. So hopefully I got my Spanish right there, Xavier. All right, so let's unbox this thing. Now, we looked at like their more premium one recently. Now, the difference with this one is that this one is less expensive, but it doesn't cover as wide an area. And if you have AT&T, and I'll pull this up on screen so you can see what we're looking at here. And you can, by the way, if you click on the Amazon link, you can go into what we're working on right now. So you can see it on screen. So there are two versions of this. And the one we're looking at right now is the WeBoost Studio, regular Studio. But there's also a Lite Edition. And the Lite Edition costs $199. The other one that I have here is $349. But the only difference is carrier compatibility. So the less expensive one, if you just have Verizon and AT&T, go with this one. This one will work with all carriers. But if you are not changing your carrier and you know that you're only going to be on Verizon or AT&T, then I would say get the less expensive one, unless you have people visiting that might want a better boost when they're in the house. It's good stuff. And there's no subscription with this, no apps. You just plug it in. And what we're going to do is like a little demo in like the worst possible way, because I'm not going to go hook this up on my roof, right? So I'm going to plug it in because I can get a signal. This is really funny. Where we are in the room right now, I can get a signal in the middle of this room that I'm in, but in my back room and right where I'm sitting, it's iffy. So what we're going to do is in my back room, I've got essentially a concrete Faraday cage. The signal is dead. And so we're going to hook this up and get a signal into the concrete room in the back there. And how do you do that? Well, let's unbox it and we'll go through the motions. So there are a couple of components. This is the outdoor antenna. And what you're supposed to do with this is point it towards your cell tower. That might be near where you are. So if you can get this thing up on the roof, all the better. So you point it at the cell tower, and then it will pick up whatever it's getting and transmit back out. And remember, this is going to amplify in both directions. So if you often get a signal outside but not inside, this is outside, it brings the signal in and amplifies it. So that's the outdoor component, and it's just an antenna. All right, and then you've got the coax pigtail here. This is like RG6 cable. Now, you might need more cable than what they provide. They only give you about 30 feet. So you might have to get a little bit more of that. So that's the coax cable. And then there's another set of coax here, and I'll show you what that's for in a second. And again, this is RG6 standard coax cable. And then in here, and yeah, Xavier, I'm not hiding those things. I think Amazon is blocking. I don't know if they have a language restriction, but they're blocking all of your chats for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that. I'm definitely not doing it on this end. This is like a little gender changer, so you can extend the cable. This is a power adapter for the amplifier, and this is 5 volts, 2.5 amps. So not that much power. So it's a little less powerful than what we saw from the other one we looked at. But the other one had two components, because you had one that would bring it into the house, and then you had another one inside. Now this is the amplifier. We're going to pull off the protectors on it. So one end goes into the antenna, and the other end goes into the, actually there's only one end on this one. So this one goes into the antenna here, and then there's an antenna that attaches to it to amplify the signal inside. So this would like rest on a desk or something. It looks like you can mount it on a wall if you want. So we got that. And let's do our overhead here just to get all the pieces put together. And then this is the antenna. Whoop. All right, so a red snapper likes my haircut. Actually, I haven't gotten a haircut. Either I'm having a really bad hair day or just a hair day. I have to get a haircut soon because it is time. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just attach the antenna to this here. This will be a fun test. Oh, Nick, this was sent to me from the company. Yeah, they sent me this one to test. And we've reviewed these before. And what's amazing is the other ones have worked amazingly well. So you plug them in and it just like whoop, comes up. And you'll see it because I have a perfect testing environment for this, which is not often the case with some of these things. All right, what else we got in here? And this looks like some mounting hardware. So this is the kind of stuff you would put outside, you know, for attaching it to, like, it looks like in the photo, they have you like attaching it. You could attach it to anything, really, I guess. We're not climbing on the roof today, by the way, because it's like snow all over it. But you would have put it on your, in this case, they've got it hooked up to the, sewer output. Like you just attach it to whatever you can, right? So they got the hardware here to attach it to a pole. And you run the cable inside, and that's it. Pretty, I mean, it's really simple. There's nothing to configure. You just turn it on. So let's see if there's anything else in here. I think that's it. All right. So step one is done. The fun part happens now, because now we're going to get into the more fun stuff. All right, so we're going to put the hardware back, because we're not going to use the hardware today. So we're going to put that in there. All right, now, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to put this, and I'll show you the game plan here, but I'm going to put this, so this part needs to get plugged in, and I might have to run another extension cord for this part. And I'll show you the room we're going to hook it into here. So let me get my thing going here. And Xavier, this is an antenna for your smartphone. So your smartphone can get amplified when you're in a bad spot. So let me go pull up my NDI cam on here. And I will show you the room that we're putting it into. And I want you all to appreciate what I go through getting all this stuff in and never having time to clean up after myself, okay? Because this is going to be embarrassing. All right, NDI HX camera, and we are up. Okay. All right, so let me take you in here as to how we're going to do this. Now, first of all, the snow is melting upstairs, like outside, and I have a drip. It's driving me crazy. It's like a Chinese water torture in here. So, yeah, this is a mess. So what this room is it's concrete and steel. This is underneath the front porch of the house. So in here, it is like once I get to where that tripod is, the phone's going to die. And I will show you that in a second. So, whoa, I almost fell down. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry for that trip there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get the antenna situated kind of in the center of the room here. And then we're going to do a test where we're going to put the phone in the middle of that room, and we'll see if it can stay on. And what you'll likely see, and we've seen this before with these things, is that when we attach power to this thing, it just comes on. It's amazing. It's like magic when it works. Okay. So, we've got some more questions coming in here. Let me answer these before I get moving to the next thing here. At the end, I need to do this Flowbee thing. Maybe I'll call the person that does my hair, and I'll have her come by and be on standby. Travis says, good for his parents' house to live in an AT&T black hole. Yeah, if you can get a signal outside, you're golden. Patrick Chang says his wife has been cutting his hair. Awesome. Yeah, I love my wife, but I would not trust her to cut my hair. I'll leave it at that, because if she's watching, I'll be in trouble. Mark Smith wants to know, can you hang it on your TV antenna? Yeah, you probably could. If you got a pole going up to the TV antenna, you could probably hang it off of that. I don't know if it'll impact it shouldn't interfere, but just know you are pushing amplified signals out through this antenna in addition to receiving them. So there could be some interference. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but we'll have to see. Jack Sweeney says the Starship launch may happen in the next 30 minutes. Ooh. Yeah, I've been following NASA spaceflight. They were doing some great stuff there. Shiratan, I hope I got your name right there. Would this be something that would cause interference with home Wi-Fi? It should not, because it's on a totally different frequency. So you shouldn't have an issue there. Pastor J.C. Seward wants to know, what about living close to an airport? Same reason. I don't think airports would be an issue there, because these are FCC allocated frequencies, and this is running on the same frequency as your cell phone is. It's just it's taking the signal and amplifying it. So it should not cause issues there. And what I'm going to do before we run out back is I'm going to connect these two cables together to get as much distance as we can. So I want to get the antenna as far into the center of the room as I can go. JM says, for Verizon, AT&T Mobile. So JM, if you go on the product carousel, they have another version of this same product it costs a little bit more. It's $349, and it covers all of the carriers. So if you are not on Verizon or AT&T, it will cost you a little bit more. But there is a version that works with all carriers. And this one actually is, I think, the least expensive one that they make. And by the way, on the topic of haircuts, because I see some more discussion on haircuts, Joe here says he does his own hair also. When he goes, the Johnny Quest race band look, awesome. When we were doing, when I was looking at the whole issue with the Flowbee, and I'm not like totally against doing the Flowbee, by the way, but it's just a matter of having the backup, because I would need somebody to fix my hair if I screw it up, because I will screw it up. I can't do anything that requires precision properly. So, and by the way, what I'm doing here right now is I'm just attaching these two things together. So, what was I saying? So the Flowbee thing. So George Clooney, I don't know if you all heard, but George Clooney had an interview. You can find it on YouTube, where he was using the Flowbee to cut his hair, and he's been doing it for years, he said. And I reached out to his people to see if I could get him on the show to guide me in its usage, but they were not into that. So no luck there. But so what happened was I was going to do the whole Flowbee thing, and then my youngest daughter is in preschool, and her little buddy, his mom started her own business cutting hair remotely. So she comes to you. So I was like, "Ooh, can you come and cut my hair?" So she was actually here with the kid, doing the kids' hair, and she does it like outside. And I was like desperate. I said, "You know what? Can you cut my hair too?" So she did. And I will tell you, like, you know, I'm glad I have hair, because a lot of my friends don't anymore. So I don't complain about it. All right, so now we're going to put this together here. So what we're doing right now is just getting the gender changer going here. Get these things attached. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the SpaceX YouTube channel and see, because I know my friends at NASA Spaceflight are covering it, and I don't want to steal their video. Oh, I thought it was a bug for a second. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Because if I'm still on while we're working on this, So I know they usually go live like right before they launch. And I have a good feeling that they're going to get this one back on the ground. Because that was a really excellent, they had an excellent mission with the one that exploded. And you say, oh my gosh, it ended in a huge explosion. How could that be good? Well, that's actually exactly what you want. Because it's better to have it, and sorry, Amir says, I feel attacked regarding the hair comment. Sorry about that. Hey, you know what? I know a lot of friends of mine that do not have any hair and look great. So it's all a matter of how you do it. But I think what comforts me is that I have very few signs that remind me I'm getting older, except aches and pains. Okay. So I will keep an eye on SpaceX. Usually they go live about 2 minutes before they launch their spaceships. So what we're going to do first, I don't have a camera on the angle that I'll be at, but I'm going to get this antenna positioned somewhere as close to the window on the other side of the room here as I can. And, whoa, this is why I have to clean this place up. It's a disaster. It is embarrassing. And so what we're going to do, so if anyone's watching wondering what the heck is going on, what I'm doing right now is just getting the antenna into position. And I'll show you where I have it configured in a second. And what's neat about this is that once you get it on your roof or get it set up somewhere, generally, we'll see if this one works the same way, because that's why we're testing this. Generally, it just works when you plug it in. I mean, literally, just plug it in. There's nothing to do. There's no software. You don't have to do any configuration. It just takes whatever it can get. You know, it's just an antenna. It's like a TV antenna. So it doesn't. If you're having trouble in the house, put it outside. You're in an apartment complex, put it outside. You know. All right. So I'm going to get it over near the window here. And I think what I'll do is I'll put it right here for now. And then I'm going to get the antenna into the back room over there. So I think I should be able to point this second camera out that way and give you a kind of a look as to what we're doing. So bear with me here for a second, because we're going to take the, we're going to take, can I zoom out a bit? Yeah. You'll see me go in there. And let me check the, wow, a lot of chat's coming in. So Manuel said that he saw one at Goodwill for $15. Yeah, if you can find these things, do it. The question was also about what grade cable is it. This is RG6. I'm assuming that's the grade. And then I probably have to run another extension cable to the plug. So what you have to do is you got to plug in this antenna, and then the exterior antenna that we just hooked up on the other end goes in here. So it's going to amplify, again, it's amplifying the signal coming in, and it's going to amplify the signal going out. And then we'll place my smartphone over there. Question on Amazon is, why not use a booster that's provided by the carrier? Well, there'd be a couple of reasons for that. The boosters that I have seen from the carriers, and I've owned a few, they work over your internet connection. And I had one, this is years ago, but I had one from AT&T, and it constantly dropped out on me. I mean, it was awful. I couldn't make, I would be, it was hit or miss as to whether or not a phone call would work. Now, I do have Wi-Fi calling on my Verizon phone, which generally works, but I run into some issues when I'm moving around the house because it doesn't work well when you've got multiple Wi-Fi access points. So when your phone hops from one to the other, it apparently, like, it'll, when it feels that one that you're connected to getting weaker, it tries to jump back to the tower. And so I can't walk around my house when I'm using Wi-Fi calling. And so that's been a real source of aggravation as well. So those are some of the things that you deal with there. And if you're wondering why I'm walking into this concrete room, it's because I know the phone will not work in here. So that's why we do it. But I feel like a tech hoarder, because I have so much stuff just kind of accumulating in here. All right, so let's get the cable some slack here. And I'm going to put it right on top of the water softener. And then I'm going to grab this extension cord and plug it in. So we'll get that going. I'm just going to run that around this way here. Okay. All right, so that's plugged in. So we got everything connected. The only thing I need to do now is get the phone situated and then the antenna placed, and then we can kind of roll forward here. So, got that going, and we'll get the antenna in position. This is a highly unscientific test, but every time I've done tests of this product, or ones like it, this has worked really well. So we're going to go with that and see how it does. And what's great is that we can do it in the least scientific way possible here. And if it works in this really bad way, it'll work better when somebody actually does it for real. Okay, I think it'll stay put there. Okay. Next up, we're going to get that phone positioned. And what I'm going to do is give you the view inside of the, bear with me here, folks. I'm going to give you the view inside of the closet back there. And we'll see how we do. Okay. Ear Mode wants to know, did I used to work for DISA Europe? No. I've only left these shores 3 times. Okay. All right, you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to turn on the audio on that camera over there. And that way you can hear me, because my mic is going to cut out. I'm on a wireless mic. So we're going to just get the level set on that. And then this will be fun when you see how this works. Okay, so we're going to turn the volume down a little bit on that camera. Wrong one, hang on. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so there we go. So now let's go back to that camera. And this will make a lot more sense in a second when I get over there. And we'll see how it does. Okay, so let's roll over here. And I think what I'll do for my main review is maybe get one of those, one of my Y switches. That would work really well. All right, so you may hear an echo because I'm coming over 2 mics, so I'll turn off this one for a second. All right, can you hear me now? Let me go run upstairs and get a smart switch, because that way I can control it remotely. Hang on, everybody. And let me go do one other thing here real quick. Yes, so bear with me for 1 second, everybody. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to get a smart switch. Okay. All right, so I found one of my smart plugs. So we're going to, is that one of those Wise plugs? And so I'm going to wire this in. I'll show you what it looks like here. This is turning into a real science project, isn't it? So what I can do with this is I can control this from my Mac, I believe. So bear with me here. Let me just get this this Wise app reinstalled on my Mac. And so we're going to hook this up and have this be the switch so I can hit a button here and fire it all up. That is the plan. All right, and it's giving me a hard time about this. Hang on a second. All right, so I'm going to reinstall the app and see if that works better for us. So how y'all doing? You having a good day today? I am doing well. And can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me. Okay. So let me go and check my Wise app real quick. And then we'll get back to the Amazon chat in a minute because my phone is what we use on Amazon. So it's always something. And what I want to be able to do is hit a button on my computer here and just fire everything up. That's kind of the plan, because this will hit the Wi-Fi, I think, in there. But the Wise app is not cooperating. So let me get my iPad out and we'll control it with that. Actually, I have another phone over here. All right, so let's get this phone fired up if it has any charge left in it, which it doesn't. See, it's one of those days, everybody. All right, let that charge up. Oh boy, okay. Well, you know what we can do in the interim is I will plug it in and we'll set up the 2-up view here. So we've got our phone, as you can see, no signal, right? Totally dead. And what I'm going to do is set up a 2-up view. So let me get that going real quick. This is kind of a work session for me because I am trying to get B-roll captured. And what I want to be able to do is hit a switch on the computer or on the phone, turn on that smart switch. Oh, now it's working. Turn on that smart switch, and then we can get everything activated. Just kind of have a one-click thing where you can see the cause and effect kind of thing, right? So let me log into the Wise account real quick. And I need an authenticator. Nothing's easy. Okay, bear with me for 1 second, folks. All right, Wise. I use two-factor authentication everywhere, which is good to do. It's good practice, but I have an app installed on my watch, so whenever I need to get going with one of these things, I can do it. All right, so I'm going to attach this now and get this online. Oh, no. Shoot. All right, I got to go find another extension cord. Hang on a second, everybody. So the Wise plug has a grounded connection. So all right, so we're going to now connect this other extension cord up. We're going to get the smart switch connected, because before we could just plug it in and we would know it worked. but this thing has to live close to its power adapter. So that requires a different strategy for getting everything connected properly. So I'm going to take out this smart switch. This is one of our Christmas switches. I don't know which one it is. So we're going to let this thing connect to the network, and we'll figure out which switch it is. And then we'll be able to have a 2-up view where we can hit the button, and then it will pop on. That's how it's supposed to work. All right. And if you're on Amazon asking questions, I will get to you once we get my iPhone out of its spot there. Okay. So we're going to now wait for my switch to appear. And it looks like this one is either the upstairs Christmas tree. Let me hit the button here. Okay, it's the dining room Christmas tree. So I'm going to rename this to, we're going to call this amplifier. I'm going to call it WeBoost. Okay. Come on. 1 second here. So I'm using the iPhone app on the computer, and let's see what happens. All right, so it looks like we got about 15 minutes before the SpaceX launch, so we will show that if I'm still on by then. Okay, we're going to call it WeBoost, and it's called Dining Room WeBoost. What do we call it that? So the font on here is like all out of whack. It thinks it's on an iPad, so it's fine. We'll just call it Dining Room WeBoost. Okay. Because people might use this in a dining room, so that would make sense. Okay, so that's done. And now it's stuck, so let me reboot the app here. Oh, come on. I can't get out of the screen. There we go. Okay, there we go. So I can hit it. All right, good. Okay, so we'll do that. All right, so now we got that in place. So next step. There's always steps. Nothing's easy, right? Okay, so now I'm going to grab this and put it in its own screen here on the Mac. And so we're going to go over to the Mac here, and I'm just going to put it in the center here so you can see us activating. So what we're going to do is hit that button, and that's going to get everything rolling. So we're going to add an input to our thing here. We're going to call this whatever. And I'm going to position this on there. So we're going to grab the NDI. That's the other one. We'll need that one too, so we'll just grab this one too. This will be, once this happens, this is going to be amazing. Well, I think it will be. So we're going to grab that, and we're going to grab that. And let me pull this up, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. So we're going to pull this up, and then we're going to go here and crop it. And then we're going to move it. So we're just going to move that over like that, like that, like that. Okay, so now what you're going to want to look for is once I plug it in, because right now it is off. When I plug it in, we're going to hit the switch, and we're going to see how long it takes for that cell phone to come up. All right. So the antenna is still where I left it. Perfect. And I have purposely not put the antenna in an ideal position, partly because it's so hard to get it in the right position, given what I have to play with right now within the room. All right, so now I'm going to connect the plug up here, okay? So make sure we're still in range. Okay, so we're good there. All right, now, we're going to hit record. Okay? And now I'm going to turn it on. Now watch what happens. If this works the way it usually does, ready? Here we go. So that's on. And in a second or two, the phone should get a signal. Let's see what happens. There it goes. See that? And it's not going to be a terribly strong signal because I don't have a good signal where I am, but we have a signal where we didn't have one before. Now, usually we see a stronger signal, so I'm going to let it sit here for a minute and see if it gets better. See, that's unusual. We don't usually see it not work like this. So I need to check the connections here and make sure we didn't lose a connection in between. And the key with these coax cables is making sure everything is tightly connected. And actually, it looks like this wasn't tightly connected. All right, let's see. How's that doing? Yeah, it's still not doing it. Okay. See, this is how it goes, everybody. It starts off easy. And now I'm just tightening up the connection on the antenna. Okay. All right, let's try it again. See what happens. This may not be as good as the other ones. So let's kill it again. All right, so we're going to turn it off. And you'll see that signal die out pretty quick here. It's hanging on. You know, sometimes it gets like a passive signal from just from the antenna itself without any power. So that could be what we're seeing here. So let me double check and make sure we got everything plugged in properly. So give me a second here, folks. So I do have the power connected. And let me just check the phone real quick. It almost feels like we're not getting power to this thing. Okay. Let me make sure my shot is good here. All right, we're good. And what I might do if it doesn't work well in here is I might move it closer to the phone and see if that improves things at all. Okay, so let's try this again. Again, no signal. Power is on. All right, we're getting the signal again. And again, I don't anticipate a very strong signal. And what I found sometimes around here is that it'll jump down to 3G, which is fine. I mean, if you're just trying to make a phone call, that's often all you really need. But like I said, I got stronger signal strength from their other one that we tried earlier. So I might, I think for our next step here, move this a little closer to the phone. Because I have plenty of cable to play with here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be hanging out at that level. Now let's turn it off again. It doesn't, you know, it takes it a while, but it will eventually drop the signal. It seems like it's almost like it's not powering up. So I wonder if I'm doing something incorrect here. Because we are getting a signal when we initially connect, but it's hanging on to it. And so, you know, the antenna will work passively. All right, so let's power it up again. And it could be that this one just needs to be closer because this does, yeah, I'm going to move that around a little bit. Let me see what you all are saying. John John's asking, why am I not, oops, I'm still recording. Why am I not out shoveling snow? I actually had, I actually did that for my neighbor this morning. So I did do a little bit of that. So we did do a little bit. I helped my neighbor get her car out this morning. So did my, I never have to go anywhere. So I just wait till the snowplow guy gets here. Shirtan asks, would killing the data on the phone lead to better call quality if the signal is so low? It might. It might. And if the exterior unit and the interior unit are too close, the interior will shut down, according to Jimmy, to prevent oscillation. Yes, so let's move, I'm going to move that antenna a little bit closer. Because what I've done with this one is I've kind of replicated what we've done typically with this. And I think this one, there's far less power going into this because it's only like 2 amps. So yeah, at 5 volts, 2 amps. It's like USB power. So it's not as powerful of an amplifier. And there's a lot of stuff in between in there. So I might, you can't really see it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this a little bit closer to the phone. Because I don't want to move the phone closer because then we're going to get into, yeah, so it's lit up. Oh, there's a red light on here. What does that mean? Let me pull this sticker off. So there is a light on this, if you can see it. So it's got some indicator as to what, let me see what these lights mean. What's funny is it just has these lights. It doesn't really say what those lights mean. So I wonder what it means. So I'm going to move this a little bit closer to the phone. So I think that might have some impact here. So let's move it over here. And there's also a lot of cardboard in the way here too, which can often be a problem. But I'm going to put some concrete in between the antenna here and the unit. And then what I want to see also is what those lights mean. So let's take a look at the book. And I thought I was showing you those lights, but I had the wrong camera up. So let's see if I can find the instruction manual in here. So we tend to kind of go at stuff here without looking at everything. So we've got the instructions here. So let's take a look at, oh, you know what? It's doing much better now. Okay, so, because the other one did not have lights on the top. But I saw a better signal and it dropped out again. Okay, so here is, let me zoom this in a little bit. Step 3, route and connect outside antenna to booster, which we did. Power up the booster and optimize the system. Plug the power supply into the wall outlet and connect into the end of the booster. Step 4, after powering up, check to see how your talk text data rates are improved. If more is desired, you can optimize your system. Rotate the antenna 1/8 of the return, Just want to see what these lights mean. Okay. Status light patterns. Green, this indicates that your home studio or home studio light is functioning properly. Solid red, band is shut off. Okay, so each of these lights represents a band. Band 2, 4, 5, 12, and 13 is what this one supports. And so I'm guessing I am on, so I'm on Verizon. Mark H. is wondering if this is Verizon only. So there's 2 different versions. So the one that I have now is the one that works with all carriers. And I am on Verizon for my service. So right now it is on. Let's turn it off again. Because we saw a little bit of a better signal and then it dropped out again. But I'm assuming that because I'm on Verizon, I need band 12 or 13. And this could also be the result of what I'm able to pick up here at the house. So I don't know what band I'm supposed to be on here at the house. So we're going to turn it back on here again once the signal goes out. So I think there's some residual power on this when you turn it off initially. But it's definitely, like the other one we looked at was twice the price, and it was much stronger than this one. Okay, so let's turn this back on again. All right, so we just hit the power. And there you go, it reconnected. So that's better. And I did notice that it dropped, it did drop in strength after a little bit. So let's let it sit there for a second. And then while that's going, I'm going to go take a look at the device and see what lights are on there. So now I'm solid green on the device. So it's picking up all the bands right now. So I don't want to touch anything. So, I mean, it's getting us a signal where we didn't have one before. So that's good. So let's turn it off again. I think we got it worked out here. And whoever commented earlier, I think that oscillation could have been the issue, because now I've got the booster behind concrete, and that seems to have improved it. So let's shut it off. And you'll see it's not an immediate effect here. It kind of takes a little bit of time for it to drop its signal, because I think there's still some power left in the system. And it should drop out completely. Pretty cool, though. Okay, it looks like we're losing it now. And I'll take some comments here. Well, that's going. And Mark H here has a good question about the price tag. Yeah, you know, here's the thing with these is, and I've recommended this to people often. And by the way, I'll check the Amazon chat in a minute. I just can't look at it anywhere. Actually, I'll probably just go on my computer and look at the Amazon chat. The thing that you run into with these is that if Wi-Fi calling works in your home, go for it, because that's going to be the least complicated. These are useful where you have people visiting or you have employees. Like you need to have those phones working reliably. These I found have been the most reliable way to go about it, because they really take whatever it can pick up over the air and just amplify it. So that's often a much better way to go. So that's what I would recommend you do. I want to thank Andreas K. for the follow. Much appreciated. On Amazon, by the way. We have different terminology depending on what platform you're watching me on, right? So, all right, so here we go again. Let me hit the record button here. And we're going to turn on the WeBoost again. So there we go. Power on. And boom, signal. And I don't have a strong signal here to begin with. So that's the other thing. So I didn't expect to see more than what I'm getting. But you go from having no signal to a signal. And I think that's significant. And that's why you look at these things. If you need a signal, this will provide it. And what's great is that, if you have, like granted, none of us are having visitors these days, but if you had somebody visiting and they were on AT&T and you're on Verizon, it's going to work for both of you. All right, so that's good. And then we'll turn it off. And the next thing we're going to do is a quick data speed test. I only get about a megabit or so upstream and downstream where I live. So I'm in a really good spot for this kind of thing. And you can see it here after we cut power. It takes a little bit of time, and then it'll drop out completely. And we're just about done. There it goes. It doesn't die. It kind of just dies off, right? And I guess I'm not a electrical engineer or a radio engineer. My father was electrical engineer. But I guess you could probably trace that signal drop to the power. There's probably capacitors that are storing up some power. As the power level goes down, right, it'll reduce. All right, well, that's good. So that seems to be working the way I expected it to work, so that's good. Yeah, this one's definitely not as powerful as the other one. The other one that we looked at, and you can check my if you go on Amazon and look for WeBoost, you'll see some of my other videos on this. Give me 1 second here. I was going to log my clip. You'll see that some of these boosters are like immediate. It's crazy how effective they are. so there we go. All right, so now let's turn it back on again just for the heck of it. So make sure we have replicatable results here. And so now power is going in, and boom. Yeah, it's consistent now. So there you go. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so that's working. Let's check and see if SpaceX is live yet. It doesn't look like they're going live yet. It is 3 o'clock now. Usually what happens is they come on like right before they do their thing. All right, so now what I want to do is a speed test of this thing. So let me pull up that camera now. And we're going to go set up a speed test real quick in the closet, handheld. So let's go do that real quick. And I should probably record this, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll put an SD card in that camera and just grab it that way. You know what? I've got, how much disk space do I have here? Oops. But see how it's solid now? So that's making me feel good. Like this is what I was expecting. And this one's designed more for a smaller room, so you know you'll see what we see here essentially. And let me clear off my interview that I did yesterday. That'll give us a little bit more room. Okay. That'll give me about another 60 gigs or so. Okay. All right, so let's go hit the record button here. Oops. And we're going to jump into the closet once more. And if I'm echoing, I think I still have a signal on this. No, I'm dead. Okay, so you're going to hear my audio through this camera. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load up the speed test app. You can see this wrath of junk I have in this place. So again, we're going through the booster here. All right, and I'm on LTE. Looks like my signal just dropped again. But again, I'm in a spot where this normally wouldn't work at all. So let's get that camera focused. Let go. And this is obviously is not good, but this is what I get normally. So like if I'm out in my yard, this is about the best I do. And it's also because the antenna's inside. But we're in a spot where we normally wouldn't get a signal at all, right? So that's... So there you go. All right, so I'm going to move it a little bit closer. Let's see if I get it right in line with it. Yeah, it looks like it's giving you like about the signal that you would normally get. So the next thing I want to try here is a phone call. So let me call, oh, you know what, I don't have a, hang on a second. Can you hear me now, everybody? There we go. Sorry, everybody. So let me run that speed test again. I'm just going to get it positioned in this way here. So let me go back here. Let's do one more speed test here. And this is not good normally. Like you would not want this kind of speed typically. But believe it or not, like this is that's kind of dropping off a little bit now. But typically, this is what I get when I'm out, like when I'm in the house. Like we do not get a good signal inside the house. And the antenna's inside the house. And I'm in a spot right now where we shouldn't get a signal at all. So I'm going to put this down here for a second. And I wonder if my holding the phone made an impact on the performance here too. So let's try it again. Yeah, I think I was holding it. Steve Jobs would say you're holding it wrong. All right, so now we're going to... So, I mean, it's performing about where it would perform in my backyard.
And we're currently in a concrete room. So we're getting, about what I would normally expect to get. So it's brought in whatever signal it could get. And if I had this on the roof and had it positioned better, this would certainly work better. All right, so let me see if I can call somebody real quick. Let me call my friend Doug real quick here. Bear with me for a second here, folks. It's funny how whenever I used to whenever I would call people, I would just call them, but nowadays I don't call people anymore. What I could do is I could leave myself a message somewhere too. Doug's not around. Let me see if I can call. Yeah, we're gonna call my wife upstairs. She's not gonna be happy, but. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
It's because I'm testing out this booster, so I sound okay to you?
Yeah. You sound a little like. No, you sound good.
It sound like echoey, right?
Not bad echoey though. You
Yeah.
sounded
Well,
far echoey.
I'm in the basement, so that's probably why it's doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. I'm glad the phone call worked.
Okay.
All right, bye. Okay, there you go. All right, so
It works. And I'll get a shot of those lights on my phone here. I'm going to peel that sticker off. And I'll show you. I will. You'll see all this in the video when I put it together. This is what I do when I'm testing stuff. Is I just go through this process. And what's funny though is they don't label what these lights mean on here. Give me a second here, folks. I'm just going to record this real quick. What these lights look like. And I'll join you all again in a minute. Okay. Perfect. All right. Mission accomplished. And it works, which is even better. Okay. All right. So I think we managed to get that to work just fine. All right. Let's see if SpaceX is making any progress here. I don't see their live stream up yet. So I may get working on my review in a little bit. Hang on one second here. All right. Okay, so I think we're good. I think we're good. So any questions on this, everybody? Managed to get all this stuff to function properly. Let me take a few more questions. And hey, Gail is here. Hello, Gail. I think you're the same Gail that sent me an email earlier, so thanks for your following. And yeah, I had two mics open, so that was what was going on. And I'll go through some of the comments here. Yeah, there was a little bit of an echo. I wasn't sure if my mic would work back there. These Sennheiser mics are amazing. They work everywhere. And so you were hearing this mic and my camera mic at the same time. So hopefully, let me play back that clip and just see how the phone call sounded. So we go over to B-roll. because we did a speed test. We got a bunch of stuff to work on there, so I think it's in good shape. So the speed test there. All right, here's the phone call. Let's see how this sounds. All right, hang on.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
It's because I'm testing out this booster, so I sound okay to you?
Yeah. You sound a little like. No, you sound good.
It sound like echoey, right?
Not bad echoey though. You
Yeah.
sounded far
Well,
echoey.
I'm in the basement, so that's
Okay. That works. Yeah, so we tested data. We tested the phone call. So I think we got everything good there. Mark Dell wants to know, am I starting my own cell phone service? Not yet. One of these days. I'm going to start my own ISP. I'm going to start a cell phone service. So that's what we're going to do there. And then as Jimmy H here says, yeah, so the LEDs are all lit up green. I have that footage on my phone. So and it's a good indicator because it tells you which bands that you're going to be able to work with. The one thing that I would say is that these lights are for different bands, but they don't print the bands on the device. But it looks like we were getting some oscillation because it was coming on and then it was coming off. So that's exactly what we were seeing before. So now that I put that antenna behind some concrete, that seemed to work better. And then you've got the rest of the status light patterns there. But it's actually good that it has that because I don't think the other ones had that indicator. So that's pretty helpful. And then, yeah, so definitely, here, I'll put this up on screen here. Yeah, so and what's nice about the antenna is that you really have to kind of aim it. So there's a lot of, I think a lot of fine tuning that you'll do with it when you first get it. And then after you get it all dialed in, just tighten everything up and lock it down and you'll be in good shape. So, and I like to do it in here because if it can make it work in that back room, like without having to put the antenna outside and get it up on the roof, the fact that it works there is great. So that is good stuff. All right, everybody, let's check on SpaceX here. I got to get this recorded in a little bit. I got a couple more things to do today, but I just wanted to get this live stream up so you could all see how it works. And I think if you're on AT&T and Verizon, $200 that's not bad for one of these because they typically are a lot more expensive than that. And it looks like SpaceX still has not posted their live stream. Yeah, they're still going there. So let me check the NASA spaceflight guys and see what's going on. And if you're into spaceflight, you got to watch these guys.
10 minutes. Coming up on 8.
Okay, so it looks like they're close. So here, I'm going to put this up briefly, but I don't want to rebroadcast them because they do such good work. I want you to watch them all on your own. But NASA spaceflight is the channel to watch. These guys are great. So when I'm off, go to them. And they have 240,000 people watching. I know these guys. I see them out at the Space Center all the time, and I'm so happy for them because this is awesome. What they've done is they've set up cameras all over the place, both in Texas and in Florida. And they worked out some deal with the local hotel there, so they have a PTZ optics camera. We've looked at one of those in the past. They have one of those cameras positioned at the hotel, and they brought in an internet connection for the camera. And these PTZ optics cameras, they do like 20x zooms. It's crazy zoom on those things. And so they've got it trained. Like this is not the SpaceX shot. This is their shot. So these guys are awesome. And they know what they're talking about. They are super, super knowledgeable. I think some of these guys and gals, there's actually guys and gals that work on NASA spaceflight. They know so much about this stuff, they could build their own rockets. They're really talented people. So I would definitely check them out. So yeah, let's see if SpaceX is, because what happened is SpaceX goes live right before they do it. And I don't want to I don't want to take their footage, NASA space flight, because those guys, you should go watch them. Let's see. SpaceX. I'm just looking on here to see if they're starting yet. Yeah, not live yet. I'll give it like another 5 minutes, then I got to run. All right. Am I echoing? Really, still? I shouldn't be echoing. Oh, it's 11 minutes ago. That's when I was in the back. Okay. All right, so let's go back to page 1 here. So how could I still be echoing? What am I echoing through? Bear with me, folks. I'm going to figure out why I'm echoing. So I've turned off. I think I turned off everything else. Give me a second. All right, we'll figure this out. I think I turned off everything else. Okay, good. We're not echoing. Perfect. I was echoing in the back there earlier. I know that. Okay. All right, good. No echo for everybody else. Yeah, so so I would definitely, if you're going to watch this SpaceX thing live, like those are the guys to watch and gals. It's NASA spaceflight. They really know their stuff. Like, and when I say they know their stuff, they know their stuff. They know all the steps involved. They know how close it gets to to launching. So it's good stuff. All right. Give me 1 second here. What are they talking about? I'm just watching the stream here to see if it's going to go or not. Yeah, so I got everything done that I intended to do here on this stream. So rather than make you all wait, I'm going to suggest, oh, they're live now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Looks like they're going to be launching in about 3 minutes. So let me go live on this, and we can just watch this happen. And if you're watching on Amazon, you're probably very confused. Why is he doing SpaceX now when we just got, got done with the other thing? And this is the SpaceX feed that we're watching right now. Now, the one that's going to launch is the one that's venting on the right. And the other one is next. So this is, I think, this is SN9. And then SN10 is next to it. And so what's neat about what SpaceX is doing, is that they don't care. I mean, they care, obviously, but it's not the end of the world if one of these things explodes like it did the last time. So what they do is they very rapidly iterate. And so they launch, learn, launch again. And because these test articles, while not inexpensive, are not super pricey, they can get away with it. And so by comparison, here, we'll turn the audio up on this also. By comparison, when NASA was doing their test last week, let me just make sure I got the audio going through the, there we go. When NASA was doing their test last week, they had, I'll do a 2 up on this. They had to stop the test because they were testing on the actual flight hardware. So with these things, let me get back to live here. With these rockets, they can test and then retest. Now we should be hearing somebody talking, although I am not getting any. Oh, we got to turn the audio on here. Hang on.
On the left is Starship serial number 10, which is also being checked out for a similar flight later this month.
There we go. I'm going to readjust my 2-up view here so we can watch together.
Minus 1 minute to the launch of Starship serial number 9. Propellant loading is complete.
All right, here we go. It's down to the wire.
Retract of the
I'm just going to let this run out.
from the flight vehicle.
And again, this is coming off of the off the SpaceX page. And what it will do, it's going to fly to 10 kilometers, and then it's going to come back down and land. That's the plan. And the last one flew for about 7 minutes and almost got the landing, and then it exploded. But again, that's part of the deal. All right, here we go. Oh, hold. Nope, they're going again.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it goes. It's going slow. Looks like they've got 3 engines going on again. What's cool is you can see them gimbaling inside of the rocket there. They've got a really cool view of that.
View on the right shows 3 Raptor engines burning. Everything continues to look nominal right now for the stage and for propulsion.
This is exciting, isn't it? Pull up my shack here. This one shacks the ball. Your wife says, WeBoost the space, yes. All right, here it goes. Yes, if you're watching on Amazon, we just got distracted by this. And I'll get back to some of your comments here in a minute. All right, it's going. It's not going to space, by the way. They're going to, I think they said 10 kilometers.
Plus 90 seconds in the flight. Everything continues to be nominal with Starship. Just passing through 3-kilometer altitude. Next major event is shutdown of engine number 3.
Yeah, they're shutting the engines down. And look at how those other engines gimbal. When they shut them down one at a time to simulate like engine failures. And you look how wildly it gimbals when they shut them down. So that's normal. That's the engine shutting down. And then I guess from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they're going to let it coast up and then let gravity take over, and then it kind of flops over on its belly.
Flight continuing on Starship. As a reminder, this is a test flight to a 10-kilometer altitude. Engine number 3 shut down on time as planned. We're continuing to climb on 2 engines. Everything continues to go well with Starship.
Good engine performance so far.
plus 3 minutes,
All right, so
20
now it's,
seconds. We've shut down engine 2 on time. You
if
saw
you're
that
watching
on, the
on
screen just
Amazon,
a few seconds ago. Starship now climbing on the power of
hi,
engine
everybody.
number 1.
If you're watching on Amazon,
To the 10
we
kilometer
got
altitude.
distracted by this because this is happening right now, and it's SpaceX footage, so I can use it. So there you go. So what they're doing now is they're shutting down the engines one at a time. So they're down to one engine. This is all it's all part of the deal. And what'll happen next is they're going to shut down the last engine, and then they're going to flop over, and then it's going to just come on down.
4 minutes. Vehicle is at 10 kilometers. It is at apogee. We're continuing to throttle down engine number 1 to hold altitude. We're preparing for handover on the propellant tank.
And again, if you're on Amazon, we are distracted by shiny objects today. Although you can rewind the feed and see what we were looking at.
4.5 minutes. We are
And
handing
thank you for the
off
super chat, Carol.
LOX tank. We're beginning to
There
flip
it goes.
the horizontal.
Yep.
And the white cloud, the plume you were seeing was intentional. There is a liquid oxygen dump. We've now transitioned to horizontal and beginning the subsonic test portion of the flight, where we check out the aft and the forward flaps to hold the vehicle stability as we descend back to the landing pad.
You know what's crazy about this? People are going to be on the rocket doing this. Like, this is going to be like what is going to happen when people fly on this thing. Isn't that crazy? So it does this this belly flop, and it's all it's controlled flight here. And you can see those fins moving as it's kind of doing its thing. And it looks like they lost the signal from the camera there.
T plus 5.5 minutes. Starship continuing the subsonic descent.
And Sam Lazar says you never know what you can buy. Right? Yeah. So at some point you might be able to buy a rocket
come back down to the landing pad
on Amazon. But yeah, so it just comes on down.
Well in this portion of flight.
And then what it will do is it's going to light the engine back up again, and it's going to like do one of these things and then land. Now what happened last time was it didn't land. It just hit the ground too hard and exploded. So now
6
let's
minutes,
see if they
10
learned from
seconds
the
into
last
flight.
flight. Isn't this
We're
a
down
crazy
beneath
camera angle? Look at
1.5
that.
kilometers. We're preparing to restart 2 engines, flip
Oh
the
my
vehicle
goodness.
vertical, then transition to 1 engine for the landing
This is like,
burn.
isn't this crazy? This is real. Okay, here it goes. See that? That is an insane camera angle. This is real. Like, yeah, it looks like they need to work on the landing a little bit better. And this is like par for the course. And this one exploded. They got another one. They can just send that one up next week if they wanted to. So, yep.
Rolling
There
in
you
on
go.
Net and opening 3.911 at this time. We will start sweeping for fires.
Yeah. So,
As you can
boom.
see from the scene, we had again another great flight up to the 10-kilometer apogee. We demonstrated the ability to transition the engines to the landing propellant tanks. The subsonic reentry looked very good and stable like we saw again last December, so we've got a lot of good data on flap control. And again, we've just got to work on that landing a little bit, but we'll find out from the team as they go through the data. We were in contact with telemetry all the way down. So all told, another great, and a reminder, this is a test flight, second time we've flown Starship in this configuration. We've got a lot of good data, and the
Where did it
primary
go?
objective to demonstrate control of the
It
vehicle.
hit harder
the
this time than it
subsonic
did the
reentry,
last time. I think they got closer to
looked
the
be
landing
very
last
good,
time.
and we will take a lot out of that. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's webcast. Thanks for logging on and watching, and we'll be back with another Starship in the near future.
Yep, they got another one ready to go. It's ready to pop up on the next one. Well, that was cool. All right, so yeah, so this was fun. We didn't expect to see that during this stream. So yeah, so a lot of comments about. That was a cool shot, though. I got to tell you, That was good stuff. All right. Well, I got some work I got to finish up on here, folks. Let me just see how we're doing on the stream. So I want to thank Carol for your super chat. And I am going to go get ready to do a few more things before I close out my day. And I might be back on tomorrow. We'll see if I get caught up on some of my organizational tasks that I want to get done. But yeah, this was fun. So thank you all for tuning in on Amazon if you were watching. And if you're not watching on Amazon and you haven't done this yet, I would appreciate, I'm going to be asking this every time. If you want to head over to the Amazon link in the description and follow me on Amazon, that would be awesome. Because I'm trying to build up my follower base there. So there you go. Carol says, I have come to pay $1 for a rocket explosion. I deliver. Mark H said I should probably do something like this. Yeah, I have some model rockets we could fire off and explode. That might be kind of fun. But this was impressive. I mean, this is amazing. Like, you know, how this works. And you know, all they got to do is figure out like what's going wrong when they hit to that landing part. And I guess the big issue they're dealing with is that, you know, the fuel. Think about the fuel on this. Is that when you're going up, the fuel, you know, the whole force of gravity and g-forces keeps. I don't know this. I'm not an expert on rockets, but I would assume that the same g-forces that pull you down when you're going up would likely pull the fuel down as it's going up. And so when you transition from vertical to horizontal to vertical again, you got to get enough pressure to deliver the fuel to the engines to get it to fire with enough force to get the thing to land, right? So I'm guessing that's what has to happen. So, you know, and by the way, like, the fact that it exploded is actually the more likely outcome. So if you shouldn't, because I see a comment on here from Ear Mode, you shouldn't be sad about this. This is how this is how SpaceX chooses to develop, right? They don't mind losing these things. I mean, I'm sure they prefer to get it back, but as you saw, there's another one ready to go right next to it. So they've got another one, and I'm sure they've got 2 or 3 more that they're getting ready to get going. And as Lon Dog says here, thankfully he didn't take the other rocket out. Yeah, because that could have been a pretty big. I'm sure it maybe got hit with some shrapnel on the way down. So we'll see what goes on there. Brittany here has a problem getting to following me on Amazon. So let me show you the trick because the interface is not perfect on this just yet. So let me show you the process to follow. So what you do is you click over on that link and then you go over here. So if you mouse over, see like when my mouse is off? So when you mouse over, the following thing will light up here. It's not terribly intuitive, but it will get fixed. But that's how you do it at the moment. John Richardson says, did they ever hear of a parachute? Yeah, it adds weight. So we'll see. Yeah, they'll figure it out. They got it going. The Falcon 9s used to blow up all the time on the way down, and then they got it worked out. Mark Smith says they put a frog up. Yeah, I had that rocket, with the little payload bay. And you know what's funny is my friends and I, we caught a frog with the intent of launching it on the rocket, and we had to like detain it overnight, and it escaped. So the next morning, the frog was gone. So that was it. I want to thank William Roldan and Frank Cromer and Derek for following. And yes, there might be a U.S. requirement on this too, but it looks like Brittany got it. So thank you very much for following, Brittany. Excellent stuff. So everybody, wow, it's almost 4 o'clock already. I got to get moving here, but I will be back soon. We're not going to have an upload tonight. I'm going to be working on a video right now, and then we'll have another upload tomorrow night. And set your notifications. And I found that the Amazon notifications tend to work a little better. So it will usually push a notification through the Amazon app to let you know. So good stuff. All right, everybody, I am going to head out for now. Thanks for tuning in. It was kind of fun to watch that rocket test together. That was cool. All right, everybody, I will catch you all on the flip side. And we're going to put up our end of stream image here. Let me find that real quick. End of stream. There we go. And, oh, Brittany is Frank Cromer. Got it. All right. Well, thank you, Brittany and Frank. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.